A new adventure for us here at TSS, and we're very pleased with our partnership with Outward Bound. You might know, the boys certainly would know that as a round square school in the tradition of Harnian experiential education, Kurt Hahn was the founder of Round Square, also the founder of Duke of Ed, and also the founder of Outward Bound. So we have a philosophical connection with the organisation that's very strong. We're looking forward very much to our first adventure with our Year 10 outdoor Ed camp this year, which will be quite different than the camps we've had in the past. So I would like to welcome Jason to come and speak to us a little bit about the adventure that's ahead of our Year 10 boys in a few weeks' time. Thank you.
Okay. I've been restrained or constrained to a microphone, so if I walk away, I'll have to come back, sorry, because this is so you can all hear. I've also just got a drink of water. I'm recovering from a little bit of a cold, so if I have to pause and have a drink, apologies for that. It's not because I'm nervous, because I'm in front of a bunch of people in an auditorium rather than being in the outdoors. It actually is, I'm a little bit nervous. And that's one of the things I really love about working for Outward Bound. It puts me in some challenging situations where I have to stretch my comfort zone a bit, and it makes me do things like this, where standing in front of a group of people in an auditorium isn't necessarily my first preference of what I would like to do with my day. It puts me out of my comfort zone. So I'm going to get all of you to just do something for me that makes you feel a little bit, maybe not uncomfortable, but slightly different position or way while you listen to me for the first, hopefully listen to me for the first few minutes. Can everyone cross their hands for me, please? Now this is something we do often enough. It's a pretty normal thing for us. We sit around listening to people, watching telly, and we're comfortable. What I'd like you to do in a moment is to unmesh your fingers and cross your hands the other way so that your opposite thumb is on top. And just pop your hands back down. So, a very simple example, a very small example, but sometimes by just being aware of what you're doing, you can just put yourself in a slightly different mindset. So, I don't know, just wanted to put that out there. So, I've also got to use the technology, so we'll see how that goes. Yep, my name's Jason Little. I'm the General Manager for Outward Bound, based in Northern New South Wales and South East Queensland. And I've got with me this evening Wayne Hitch, our Chief Operations Officer. And Wayne will jump up in a little while and help me field some questions, because I'm sure you're going to have a bunch. What I'd like to do is just go through a little bit of a PowerPoint presentation for you, which will explain very briefly who we are as an organisation. It'll explain briefly what we're going to do with the Year 10s, some of the activities, and certainly some of the gear and equipment, just some brief outlines. There's a bit of documentation that's probably has been put out to you already, and there'll be a reference to that, but I'm not going to go into any detail across those areas at this stage. Certainly later on, if you've got questions, give me a yell. So I'll move through this reasonably quickly, and yeah, if you've got questions, if you can hold them to the end, that would be fantastic. All right, Outward Bound. Really what we're about is going out there, going Outward Bound, getting our way from what is your normal, crossing your hands the wrong way, because it's not what you normally do. Outward Bound Australia was developed during World War II by Kurt Hahn, and it's been established in Australia for quite some time, 60 odd years. We've got 40 schools internationally, or over 40 schools. And we're currently also a registered training organisation. What we're about is providing challenges and experiences to help people discover, develop and achieve their potential. We want to inspire people to be selfless, achieve their personal best, help you improve your self-confidence, self-awareness and resilience. Those things will align very closely with what TSS as a school wants you to achieve and realise in yourselves. We've got quite a bit going on. We have over 60 schools in Australia. We run with community groups and community programs. We also run public programs and corporate programs. Our adult ones, we have a 14-day Pinnacle program, and that runs out of northern New South Wales. So that's my technology one. Can everyone please put their phones on silent? Yeah, we have a really cool Pinnacle program. We have a Summit to See, which is our absolute ultimate in programs. 26 days, runs through ACT, New South Wales and Victoria, from the Australian Alps through to the ocean. We also have a Catalyst. We run family programs. We run a program called Discover, which is a 5-day, once again down in northern New South Wales. And we also run youth leadership programs. And for youth, we run a 12-day school holiday open enrolment program. So, you know, at the end of the day, if this is something you love, certainly we run these things as public programs as well. Okay, the Southport School. What we're doing, 9th to the 18th of November, we have a 10-day program on the Upper Clarence River in northern New South Wales. This is our base in Newcastle, not particularly relevant at this stage because you won't be going there. The Year 7 certainly did, but where you will be going is the Clarence on Paddy's Flat. It's a very spectacular country. It's quite remote. It's dominated by the Clarence River and quite a few mountains and a national park called Cataract National Park. We'll talk a little bit about what some of these pictures might mean just down the track. What the aims from your school and what we really want to achieve, and as I said before, they really do align with what Outward Bound's values are. First of all, we want you to have an amazing fun time. It's really a special rite of passage. To go out there for 10 days on a place apart from your norm is certainly a way to grow. Gain a sense of achievement, compassion, respect, and service. Take responsibility for yourself. Develop teamwork, improve problem solving, resilience, and introduce leadership. Some of the activities, and it does vary a little bit between groups, and sometimes it depends on how you perform during the day as to whether you can achieve certain aims or get to where you want to be. But we do have some magnificent places to be doing it. Going on expedition. This is certainly an integral part of what we do on our Outward Bound program. We go on a journey from the start to the finish, which includes an expedition of hiking that needs to involve some teamwork. Certainly some navigation to get to the right place, some planning and some cooperation. You'll spend some time doing a solo activity where you get to reflect. Service, you get to give something back. Initiatives, fun, challenging, frustrating, annoying, well, the different terms we get to hear about initiatives. And whitewater canoeing. As I said before, it's very much a journey-based program. It's about getting you to arrive and setting you up to go on a whole experience. It's not just physical. Where you have to depend on your buddies around you, where you have to depend on yourself. Lots of challenges, physical, intellectual, social, emotional and mental. This is all about experiential education. And experiential education, it's a real life experience of learning. So there are action consequences. As I mentioned a moment ago, if you struggle with your navigation, you might have a hard time getting to your campsite by 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It might take you 3 or 4 hours longer than another group has. And the consequence is, you might get to eat dinner later. You might get to bed a lot later. So there's some really important consequences for all of your decisions during the program. It's about the choices you make. But we'll also never ask you to do something that you cannot do. that your instructor couldn't do or wouldn't do. We're going to challenge you to make choices about your level of contribution. So we ask you to attempt everything to the best of your ability. Respect yourself, others, and the environment. Avoid unprescribed drugs and alcohol. And follow all safety instructions. Now these are Outward Bound's core training conditions. And we put these right across the board. And some of them aren't always relevant, but we like to put them out there. Safety. I know for mums and dads there, this is something that's certainly on your mind. We make sure we take care of the physical safety. All of our staff are trained in the Certificate 4 minimum of outdoor recreation. We have a very comprehensive safety network, and I'm actually going to expand on that in a little while, and I'll probably grab Wayne to jump up and chip in on that one. And we really have what is the forefront of safety and group management and monitoring in Australia. It's pretty exciting, very recent information on that. But we really like to look after emotional safety as well, because with the physical challenges, it generates emotional experiences as well. Just that last point, please declare all medication. Look, you've all been asked to log on and update your child's medical information. So please make sure you do that. And too much information is great for us because it gives us all the details we need. Way too quiet. I'm going to move away. I'm going to move away. Alright, so let's do a little bit of, you're all uncupped your hands. I've noticed that a couple of people still got them where they want them. We're going to do another different one. So what I want you to do is turn your hands. So cross your wrists, hands back to back, and I want you to interlink your fingers again. Then do this one, up like that. I want you to point the two pointing fingers. And I want you to put them on the side of your nose. And now, without taking your fingers off your nose, I want you to release. Get your fingers on your nose. You can't do it. You can't do it. So, do this again. Is this comfortable? If you couldn't do it, I want you to go to an uncomfortable position. If you could not do that, swap your hands over. So, if your right thumb was on top before, put your left thumb on top. Try again. Did it work that time? Right. I'm going to go back to the microphone. This is the bit where everybody keeps doing it and doesn't pay attention. That's right. Okay. Equipment provided. What do? We've got a bunch of stuff for you. Now, I would like you to ensure you check your lists really carefully for this. The pack out lists. We've put together equipment, and it's not suggested gear, it is gear you need. We'll provide a bunch of stuff to make sure that all the food can be cooked, that all the activities run safely and with all of the right gear. We supply all the safety equipment. But all of the things that are on the pack out list, and we call that group gear, sorry, I've jumped ahead a little bit. All the gear that's on your pack out list, such as raincoats, boots, thermals, shirts, pants, what we've given you is what is needed. Now, it happens all the time. People turn up with, no, I think I'll bring 5 pairs of pants because I want to change them every second day. If you want to carry 5 pairs of pants in your pack, that's another 4 or 5 kilos in your pack. So please look at your pack out list. When you arrive, your instructor will go through those with you. And I'll probably tell you to pick everything you don't need. And one of the things you don't need is deodorant. You don't need shampoo. You do need a toothbrush and any medication. Foods. What we do for food? Our Bound experience isn't about eating something out of a packet that's got boiling water poured into it, or a dry block of cheese and a cracker that's 5 days old and broken up because it's been in the bottom of your pack. We provide really good nutritious food. Every 2 to 3 days there'll be a fresh food drop, which will include fresh perishables that need to be consumed that day. But then the food is organised so that it needs to be eaten over those 2 or 3 days. So yes, on the last day you may have a veggie curry. On the first day you may have something that contains fresh meat and so forth. And lunches will be a little bit the same. We obviously not carrying refrigerators and whatnot. But we have the food set up so that it's got enough energy for a 15, 16, 17-year-old teenage boy who eats like a horse. There's enough energy for you. It won't be your first choice of food, but it's definitely got a nutritional value, and depending on how well you cook, can taste absolutely amazing. We're completely, we work entirely on being nut-free. We don't buy products that contain nuts. As I'm sure you understand, in this day and age, in this environment, so many companies put disclaimers on their packaging, so we can't guarantee everything. If you have anaphylactic or extreme nut allergies, we will ensure that all of the food going to that person or people is nut-free. But we don't have peanut butter and those types of things. Meal preparation, this is where it comes down to how good it turns out. It's up to you guys. There aren't any showers. That's why you don't need shampoo. You don't need a bar of soap. We do take soap and hand sanitizer or whatnot with us. Sometimes there are showers, but that's where you want your raincoat. Well, there's not snow for us, but I like to leave that in here. Snowed up at Stanford not long ago, didn't it? It's not all hard work. How can you help us? How can you help make this fun? I've mentioned all these things, but medical forms, you've all been asked to log on and make sure that they're up to date. That's really important. And if there's something leading up the weekend, there's an injury, please, we need to know that information. Clothing and gear, stick to the list. It's tried and tested over a lot of years and a lot of programs. And if you have any concerns, have a conversation. Get fit. You're all teenagers, you're all fit. And come with a positive attitude and an open mind. Right. That microphone. So that's generally the information that I wanted to share with you this evening, to just give you a background about where things are, where things stand, and what we are offering. I'm sure there are a lot of questions, and I'm more than happy to answer as many as we can. And if there's something that I don't have an answer to, because as a general manager I don't know exactly what every instructor does, I'll get back to you with the answer. So if you want to ask, I'll probably repeat it because I think this is going live out to other parents. So if you ask me the question, I'll probably repeat it in my answer so that they can go across. Is that cool? Is that, yeah? All right, I can see one. There's one. There you go.
Boots. Do they need to be hiking boots? Can they be sneakers?
Okay, ideally, in the environment they're going into, hiking boots are ideal. But a lot of people wear, I don't have my own, low-cut type hiking shoes, which are not dissimilar to a very good, like a good quality pair of joggers. Okay? So it needs to be a quality supportive shoe. So you don't need to go and buy a $300 pair of high-cut, high-range hiking shoes, absolutely not. But a quality pair of lace-up shoes. The slip-on type, when I was young, we used to call them volleys, but the slip-on type shoes, low-cut joggers, super low-cut joggers aren't appropriate. I'm a bit surprised. If they come, if they're allowed to. Yep, I'm getting a nod over there. We do ask for the river component. So when out on the river, shoes must be worn at all times as well. So there needs to be an old pair of kick-around joggers or water shoes, booties, those sorts of things if you have them. But just an old pair of joggers are ideal for the canoeing time. Anyone else? How much hiking? So generally, for this program, there will be 5 to 6 days of hiking integrated, so that perhaps we'll be canoeing in the middle of it. So they might hike, or they might, or hiking canoe, just depends on what group. The days will vary. Some of them are quite short, they'll only be 3 or 4 kilometres, but there'll be quite considerable navigational challenges during that, or there may be an actual abseil activity and that sort of thing going on that day. The longest hiking days are about 12 to 13 kilometres for the entire day. And that integrated into that time, plus other navigational challenges. And there's some reasonably steep terrain through some sections. So all of our legs or our days are designed so that the length of the hike for the type of terrain. So over the, let's say, 5 to 6 days of hiking per group, it will be somewhere around 30 to 35 kilometres. Any more questions? Yes? How many in a group? We have a maximum group size of 18. And with each group, we have one instructor during the hiking and the expedition and the activities. Once they go into the water and the whitewater component, we also have 2 river guides. And that same instructor will stay with the group during that as well, and a teacher. Any more? Yep. Not a lot. Generally you operate as an individual group, and you may bump into other people at other times. There'll be some crossover times, you walk past people at times. You may hear a noisy group somewhere else another time, but you won't do anything together. Yep. Okay. You can talk to Mr. Brown about that. We don't select the groups. I don't know how the groups are picked. You can share that now, or?
Actually, one of the students came up with this, and we used it in Year 7. It was very good. It goes on your PE physical results. So the groups will be done, at the moment it looks like there's about 9 groups. And the top PE physical result person will be in group 1 at the top, and it'll go that way all the way down through, breaking the groups up into different levels of physical ability. So you'll have a top guy as well as one of the lesser physical activities. So it challenges the group to bring everybody with them. So you'll have guys that want to march out in front and go for it, and you'll have other guys that will really need to be encouraged to get going. And that brings the group much closer together. It worked with grade 7s really, really well. So that's how they're going to be. And that was a boys' edition.
Perfect. Any more questions? There must be some coming up, yep.
I noticed that you've got a spot page there.
Yes.
Is that something that can be shared with parents and follow?
So I'll just explain to everybody what you're referring to, because a lot of people may not know. So essentially, I mentioned before that we use the most current method of ensuring safety and communicating. What we've just done is implemented a system of tracking called Delaney InReach. We were previously using something called SPOTS. And a SPOT is essentially a small GPS tracking device which the instructor of each group carries. And every 10 minutes that pings a signal which then goes via the satellite network and comes back to a software package so we can identify where every single group is all the time. That also allows us to send out, the instructor to send out a message. We've just brought on board a new system which allows two-way communication between that device and also, so from the instructor to the person coordinating and from the coordinating person back to the instructor. So it's the newest system and it's just been introduced. Wayne, you just want to speak on that?
So, answer your question, where the Lormy Inreach devices, where we're purchasing them, it comes with a software package. But that software package is a platform designed purely for Out Now. So our coordinators get on that platform. Now, funnily enough, TSS will be the second school that we've introduced this for. So at this point in time, the answers about you getting on and having a look. This year, no, but we're looking at actually being able to have blogs and have parents get on and have a look at where their actual group is. But we're just going to get this on for the first year, get it running, because that's an actual platform. So our piece, our coordinators can get on, look at where every group is, text at any one stage, and get communication guaranteed 100% of the time. So give us a year, and we're looking at next year to be able to definitely say, yeah, get on, hopefully get blogs up and running, and you guys can get on and have a look at exactly where the groups are at and what they're doing. So, yeah, the other thing with the Belormies is, the good thing with the Belormies, we had it tested on our Summer at Sea program. I was actually on call when it happened. One of our participants, when we were testing the system, actually hit the SOS button. And the SOS button, if you don't know, if you hit SOS, the cavalry comes running. All right, so I had phone calls from America. It's monitored in Texas in America, and we have a dedicated person 24/7 watching what's going on. We have calls come in, an SOS gets hit, gets pinged to Texas, and they've got all the phones. So we had emergency services. I was fielding 100 phone calls, and then I found out from the field text, oh, it's an accident, so I had to call everyone off. But they knew before I did. So it happened that quick. So that's why we're moving to the Belormies, is that we've got way better 24/7 backup and emergency service access. Although it does go to Texas, I found out it worked really well. Yeah.
So who has this SOS button?
It's actually with the instructor. All right, but what the instructor will do is teach, when the teacher is out with the instructor, the instructor teaches the teacher. If something happens to the instructor, they get hit by lightning or big, then the teacher will be able to go bang and hit SOS. The SOS button is really predominant. You have to flip and hit. So there'll be at least 2 people in the group that know how to hit that. And really, year 10s, the guys that are coming out now, like, there's no reason why the instructor can't teach the participants, the students that are coming out, exactly what that Belormy device does as well, and how to hit the SOS in case of emergency.
Yeah, notable emergencies in there.
Yeah, we've had medical emergencies. The biggest ones we've had, if you're not going way back into the 50s and 60s, the biggest one we've had lately, we've had appendicitis. Is probably the biggest one we've been dealing with in the last few years.
Did you know that?
Yeah. Well, I was actually involved in the helicopter lift. So we actually have helicopters coming. So when we have this, when we're walking, we have muster points. So if there's a fire or something going on, even before the fire even looks like getting to where, or a storm, or that happens up here as being storms, before the storm even hits, these guys will be back on the bus line. So we have muster points everywhere across the circuits, where we would send a text message and say, get to this muster point, the instructor knows where to go to. From that muster point, they get picked up and sent to an evacuation point, which is the closest town, and then it's down. So, yeah, we have all that as part of our local operating manuals, local operating procedures.
And just for an idea, that's what a group over 2 hours, maybe an hour and a half, have tracked. or 7, that's an anomaly. Any other questions? I think if they come up, as I mentioned before, have a conversation, either talk here at school, and if questions need to come back to us out of town, we're more than happy to answer them. And look, we're really looking forward to this experience with you young guys and the children of everybody else here. It's going to be an amazing program. It's an amazing area. It's pristine, a pristine part of our environment, a waterway that's pretty much untouched by farmland or any modern practices. There's a lot of revegetation and regeneration going on for any areas that have been impacted by things like gold mining 100 years ago. And it's an amazing experience to get out in this particular location. Yes? A lot of wild dogs? Yeah, okay. So you're talking the Clarence region? Yeah, okay. We have, as part of our policy and our briefing, how groups should respond and behave, and it's briefed up to the participants. For example, things such as it might sound cool or fun to call them. You don't. Strategies to manage the situation if they're sighted. The particular area where we're going is based around a place called Clarence River Wilderness Lodge, which is a wildlife refuge, and they have an active feral animal program. And their only real concern at the moment is cats, and there's a few, there has been in the last 3 months a few wild pigs, but the dogs are not an issue in their area over any recent times. So yeah, their program's really active, so we're pretty much aware. I know in saying that, you never know quite where they are. So it's all about management, briefing up the group, and then if there's an issue, let's say we've got some wild dogs in the area, we can get that message straight back to our coordinator, and we can look at moving the group away, taking appropriate actions at that stage. But in the 5 years we've been operating on the Clarence, a bit longer, we've never heard of a sighting, let alone an incident with dogs. Yeah.
How long is bus typically?
Ooh.
3.5 hours.
Yeah. 3 to 3.5 hours. Depends how many times you've got to stop the other word.
Most of the logistical stuff in the school point of view will come out. I'll send it out through Year 10 parents and student emails, and that will come out probably the next week or two. Things like bus trip, we'll probably have to leave around 6 a.m. to get down there in time. As I said, it's a 3.5 to 4 hour drive with stops, so it will be a long journey. We may not even get back until later that time, 6 or 7 o'clock at night, so to fill in those whole 10 days. Other things, again, we spoke about it there, but if you haven't been on yet to accept your son's participation in this camp, you can go on to the parent portal and have a look at the tours area and tick that. Check your medical records. Again, it's imperative. We had in grade 7 a couple of things that weren't on medical forms that really needed to be. Luckily, we identified those early, but just please go and check those before you accept them. I can be contacted, obviously through the school email, and any time that I can forward stuff on to these guys as well. So if you do have any other questions, but are there any more questions while they're here?
So with the groups, do we just go out for the day and come back at the end of the day?
With your Journey expedition-based program, you'll start where the bus drops you off, and you get picked up by the bus at the end. You won't stay in the same place 2 nights. You carry everything you need on your back. Yep.
How often will we going innovation?
how often. It's a 3-night trip, and it's in a block. Get that?
Yeah.
So you go canoeing once, but it goes essentially 4 days.
Just with some of the clothing, are we best just to go to Anaconda or what can we do? Are they going to give us a lifestyle?
We go there, we can go to the Best and Less, or
Oh, okay. So
yeah. Look, for me, the clothes they're going to wear, unless your child is riding to hiking and they're going to use those more expensive outdoor gear, I would probably go to the I was going to say Army Circle stores as well and get some probably stuff you don't care that's going to get trashed.
that's what I was thinking. If you don't have.
Yeah.
And it'll probably smell that bad at the end.
You're probably
Long pants is on the list and they're an absolute must.
What sort of long pants are they? Like,
What sort of long pants?
yeah.
Denim, no. Denim's an absolute no. It's terrible. Anything from a pair of tracksuit pants to the lightweight hiking style pants if you want to get that sort of thing. Quick dry is really good, so if it is raining, that's super, yeah, that's really handy. Something a little bit robust, because there are sticks, grass, all that sort of thing that's a bit patchy on the legs.
And the mobile phones don't work.
No.
It's why we're cheap.
Yep.
This is more on the school side of things. With the boys' exams, obviously they're doing those beforehand, are they? Yes. And what about the boys that are doing some of the year 11 subjects?
Sure. So all assessment is finished, all of it. The English, some of our English students don't have an exam, they have an assignment, and that's going to be due beforehand. And I've just worked with Mrs. Rogers this afternoon to find a solution for the maths exam, and that will be sat beforehand, and it will have an adjusted program.
Oh, good. So does it need to take one?
No, we just need to take, once they're done with their assessment for year 10 on camp, they're done.
Thank you.
Are they expected at school on the first and
Yes. We have, this is the first time we're doing this, so we've got a debrief day planned for Thursday. The details of that aren't yet fully concrete. And of course, Friday is graduation. Yes. So year 12 graduation. Yeah. So therefore, they will be required for periods 1, 2, and 3 on that day, and then we move to, and then school is dismissed as normal on graduation day, and year 12 graduation happens in the afternoon. So the short answer is yes, they are required.
No more?
things like the disposable cameras or, those sort of things, do they take all
Yeah,
the costs?
absolutely. Look, a lot of participants would like to take better cameras, and that's okay. Just understanding that they're going to potentially get damaged or dirty or grubby. But, an underwater, like a waterproof camera, digital camera, GoPros, we do see them often enough
So they're
at their own risk.
If you have any individual questions, the guys will be here for a little bit longer, but I'd like to thank them for coming along tonight. And thank you for coming along as well. It will be a wonderful program. So keep an eye on your emails, your personal and your school ones, and more information will be coming out the next week or so about it all going ahead. All right, thank you very much.
That's one reason. Look at Yeah, so the things you can do with whether that's just, we find most of the words, well, here at the first day, I like to think bunny anyway. So we're looking for well, that's an iPhone. Yeah, so. And yeah, I think, so like the need for information, I actually like to see. We get the medical information about somebody where this whatever we need to do to manipulate things at the time. Yeah. So he's going to be the best guide on this process. And the teacher very and I would suggest whether the medical doctors agree that will make the decision. But a brace or strap may be very appropriate. You go to medical center, health center, right, and they can book the local. So he just needs to go to the health center and yeah. No, get him to go to the medical health center. Yeah, it's just.
Look, generally, it's not.
So, thanks, Karen. You have a head out of that.
Oh, yeah, we start.
But it really could have, it's not that quality.
Well, as long as we know that, what we can do is we make sure that the contract is live. As long as we know that it's so where do we want to we also knowing that training, we're not having that. Now, the other thing too is, right. That's the other thing I found.
Some of them will still be like, but the other thing that does good, it talks about, and now it's they keep on that'll be history for that school, that'll be legendary. So the experience they always
Yeah, right. So I would suggest the two people. I'll probably, if you look at it,
you guys, it's good if that's, next time, we'll give you attachments and things to be able
See you later. Thank you.
No worries. Yeah, my pleasure.
I'll put you Stanford.
Yeah, off the Stanfield. No, well, that's when they said we're going to Stanfield. I went, oh, yeah. Well, I'll come from Canberra, guys. Consider it.
Thank you.